Welcome, Podcast Nation. Welcome. Today I start the first 60 seconds and less with just peace, mind, prosperity. It's what this channel is about. It's just connecting with the inner spirit, the inner entrepreneur, the inner you. Defining any and all challenges. LWA stands for a lot of things. But one of the main things that I always want to make sure as a living, dying legacy to come was, what is the purpose? What's your why? If there's anything you can get from any material I put in this universe to help empower, is what is your why? We've all been down. We've all been out of it. We've all had our days. We all had our times. Why stories are important. This is why motivation is a real thing. This is why courage is real. This is why fear must be conquered. Challenges must be faced. Goals must be dominated. Doesn't matter how you look at it. Life is hard. It's a bitch. It slaps us aside the face. We have no choice but to get up and keep moving. And, when you've been to low points in your life, you know there's nowhere but up to go. Just keep moving. These first couple of minutes for this podcast is for you. It's for you. Keep going. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. Keep inspiring. Keep pushing those around you within your inner circle, your inner surrounding, your inner peace. Sometimes things like this in life are so necessary. Can't just pop everything off with a hey. What's the true purpose of defining today's real meaning is peace, love, happiness. Specifically in a world where there's plenty of uncertainty, but when you have the world, not even just the country, the world, our world is in a lot of uncertainty with corona, finances, job loss, depression, insecurities, and nothing looks bright. Let's just be honest. Nothing looks bright right now. Nothing but you keeping your goal set on what the target is. I started this podcast like this for a reason. Tragedy is all around us. Chaos is all around us, and you have to sit down and find your inner peace. So I wanted to start off with a little meditation, piece of prosperity and perseverance through just in channeling that spiritual vibe. I've been all about just peace lately. Like I said, it's a lot of chaos going around enough, and what do you do to not contribute to it, or to help contribute to the fact of putting people at ease? So comedians are needed right now. Social media is good and bad as it is. It is kind of needed because there's still a lot of good stuff out there. You just gotta do like I do. I channel all that crap out of my feed. It's the reason of one of the things that empowers me to get on social media, not only to advertise and market my business, but I have nothing but, no, I can't say nothing, but majority of my stuff on my feed for Instagram, Facebook, etc. is positive stuff. Because that's the people that I follow. So that's how my algorithms roll. Anything pretty negative, I typically tend to block it and exit it out. Or why am I seeing this to the appropriate app? So keep your mind, keep your peace, people. Welcome back to LWA, Legacy Wealth Advantage podcast. Podcast made to inspire, build, and create the unknown within the known. I got a lot of cool sayings if you haven't noticed by now. If this is your first podcast listening in, I really appreciate you. We are on IG, Instagram at Coach Q123. Please visit the website at LegacyWealthAdvantage.com. We are inspiring entrepreneurs through any and all ways and cost. Essentially what we do is sell insurance. We are an insurance agency. We help people make money by selling to people that need our products. And our products is something that's pretty dependable and reliable. Life insurance. We breed life insurance agents. We're a final expense company. Majority of our portfolio, 80% of it is final expense. The other 20% of it is pretty much a little bit of everything, but mainly Medicare. We breed you to a final expense agent and toss you into the lucrative side of the industry, which is the Medicare and Medicaid industry, the health side. It's very lucrative in the back end, and final expense is very lucrative in the front end. And when you have one hell of a combo like that, guess what you get? Money. Gotta get that money, people. Today's topic is cash flow. Been reading a lot of Robert Kiyosaki. Anybody that knows Coach Q knows that I am a Robert Kiyosaki fan. And I've been reading a lot of his stuff, listening to a lot of his podcasts. And, actually, I've been listening to John Maxwell with a combination series of some Robert Kiyosaki. And it's been really... what's the word am I looking for? It's been really, hold on, I gotta ring the bell. I keep forgetting about this damn bell. School is in session. Welcome back. Alright, so, been listening to a lot of John Maxwell. Not a lot, but that's just my last book I've been listening to. I'm actually finishing up the credits on that. John Maxwell, great audio book. Let me look it up. There's no reason to tell you that I'm reading a great audio book and not give you the name. How rude is that? It is John C. Maxwell. Good leaders ask great questions. And I want to know what the hell questions are those to ask. And it's a pretty... John Maxwell never disappoints. Anybody knows anything about leadership, businesses, CEOs, one of the greatest of all times... it's John Maxwell. Great book to read. Catch up on it. In the midst of listening to him in the audiobook version, I was doing a combo effect with Robert Kiyosaki. Oh, excuse me. Sitting over here yawning. I'm doing a podcast pretty late today. I had to get in touch with my other side. It's about 12 o'clock where I'm at. Rich Dads... Retire Young, Retire Rich. How to Get Rich and Stay Rich. Robert T. Kiyosaki. I've read about every book in this series of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I think this one's going to be my favorite one. Of course, Robert's big ideology is the cash flow quadrant, giving people a simplistic way and strategic strategy of how to understand accounting, businesses, assets, cash flow, quadrants. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable. Love this guy because I'm about as simple as him. And for me to understand this stuff to a T, a simplistic T, I'm not supposed to get thoroughly in depth with it. If I can, that's great. But, you pay people to do that stuff. You just need to know, just like John D. Rockefeller, the greatest entrepreneur, or at least one of them to an extent to ever live. It's just some incredible stuff. And you just need to know things to a T, so you're not getting completely ripped off. and always have opinions and factors and things to outweigh the results of what's going on. One of the big things that's going on in this book, why I want to talk about cash flow today, my simple way of looking at it and expressing it to you guys in a viewpoint of what makes sense from Coach Q's mind. Life is about a lot of things, no matter how you want to look at it. We live in a barter system. Whether you're giving a service or a product, everything costs money. It costs money for us to live or be born. It costs money for us to die. Like croak, gone. That's it. And nothing in this world is free. Nothing. Because time isn't free. People's energy isn't free. Especially nowadays in today's 21st century world. Time is literally money. That was one of the biggest secrets I had to learn for me to go out and create a business or own a job, being self-employed, and build that business as something successful, where in a reality of 90+% of people fell out, which I was almost one of them easily, with one wrong twist of an ankle or turn. It's nothing easy about this. I have no time for nothing but other than to worry about my business, and I enjoy that because I want to be a successful businessman. But as I learn and self-motivate and self-teach, life is about cash flow, right? Cash flow. What can you do to make a lot of cash? Cash to live, cash to do things, cash to explore, cash to get out, cash to build. Cash is needed. And you think about some of the high cash earners in our economy. You think about entertainers, comedians, rock stars, musicians, rappers, drug dealers, all those people, mafias. Let me separate those categories. Let me do legal tax people. Entertainers such as football players, comedians, movie stars. They make a shitload of money based off their skill. We all make money based off our skills and what we can attribute to society and how they pay us for their skills. Point blank, period. Those guys make a lot of money. They work hard. Trust me, I used to be a wannabe NFL football player. I mean, you gotta work your ass off to get this. Not like, even with LeBron, he works his ass off. As gifted as he is, as naturally gifted as LeBron, MJ, Kobe are. Nothing's easy comes with that. And they're entertaining people. We live in an entertaining world. Even back in the day, people used to die for entertainment. And, it's some crazy shit going back in the day. So, entertainment is a necessity in this crazy world that we live in. And if you entertain people the right way, they pay a lot of money for it. Point blank. So, that's one way. They get taxed a lot. But you got smart people like the basketball players, the comedians, the movie stars that take that money and put in the assets to try to keep taxes as realistic as possible, or just straight up period, not to pay any taxes. Every dollar is taxed coming through the United States system, government system, point blank. And then you got dirty money. The rappers, I would kind of consider dirty money. They just got ways to, funnel money legally. One of them would be, for example, real example, if I'm a famous rapper and I'm hot, you want me to come to your club, I'm gonna charge you $50,000. If you give me $35,000 in cash, I'll give you the discount. If you're not paying me in cash, you have to pay me through a tax transaction, meaning credit or debit card or just something that can be tracked. Then you got to pay the whole fee, $50,000. So if you give a rapper $35,000, they don't have to report that shit to the IRS, and we all know that. IRS knows that. It's like being a barber or a hairstylist. You control your money. Of course, you still got to pay self-employed tax and all that type of stuff, but it's a reason barbers, even in the 21st century, they be acting like they can't get a cash app and they got troubles doing this and that. Bullshit. They don't want to report that shit to IRS. I got a barber that I used to have, cut my hair for quite a while in my life, never made the transition to anything but cash. And I'm like, I ain't no fool why you don't want to get the credit system in place. You don't want to report that shit to the IRS. I'm no fool. You want that cash. Drug dealers are the same way. They make a shitload of cash. And, but guess what? If you can't, we don't live in a world where cash means anything anymore. Cash is worthless. Robert Kiyosaki, again, since he's relevant in this topic of what we're talking about, always talks about cash is trash. Ever since Nixon took us off the gold, took the gold off the gold standard exchange, the U.S. prints money every single fucking day. Inflation rises on the dollar. The dollar's getting useless, worthless. It's not worth the dollar. I mean, this is not a millennial standpoint, but it is, because it's going to affect me the most as I get into my 70s and my 80s. God willing, I live that long. I pray I do. I hope I do. I definitely won't be around that long, but it's scary to see what the economy is going to look like, because it's in a mess now. And money, I mean, we're going to go to a new treasury system, barter system, currency system at some point in time. It's just like when. And it's like, damn, if I build this empire of mine and, shit changes over in the middle of it, I'm kind of fucked. But you can't live like that. You can't live in fear. If it happens, it happens. That's why you own assets and get rid of the cash. Drug dealers, for example, or even rappers and ball players are typically perfect examples of what the fuck are you doing with your money. You make a lot of money. Ball players are getting taxed. Barbers and rappers typically aren't. Just depends on what kind of deal the rapper has and if they get cash. The rappers is kind of complicated as well. What they do, what they don't, what kind of contract they got, and etc. The drug dealers are easy. They're obviously not getting taxed because they're doing everything illegal. And they make a lot of money. But they can't invest their money. Money's useless. They have a lot of it, but it's useless. It's typically why they can get away with a lot of shit before they finally get caught, because the government wants it back into circulation. So they're taking it. You give us $20 million, we'll let you off. You fuck up again, you're going to jail for real. It's plenty of stories like that out there. Plenty of them that are known, plenty of them that are not known. All drug dealers do is bury the shit. Put it in trunks. They just got money sitting everywhere. Last thing you want to do is run into $20 million and not like somebody not going to come looking for you. Because if they find one trace of you in there, which they can, which they will, like the FBI, they'll find you, trust me. You're fucked. So, because they will come cut your fingers, necks, and eyes and all that shit out to find their money. Money is useless unless you're reinvesting it. And I'm not talking about no healthy economy and all that. It's just useless unless you're putting it in an asset for a lot of reasons. Because money has no value. Money is trash. Money needs to be burnt. The way you burn it the right way without actually burning it is putting it back into an investment. The only reason you store money is obviously because you're needing to store up for a transition or transaction that's going to cost you millions of dollars. Unless you're making millions of dollars in a snap of a second every week, month, or something like that, then you got to put that cash away and you got to build up. And what do we live for? Going back to the point, cash. So you need cash flow. Everybody wants cash flow. How do you get cash flow? Residual and passive income basically equal cash flow. If you do a diagram or a visual on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, you should write cash flow equals passive and residual income. We live and die for, as far as living a healthy, legitimate built business, career, and lifestyle, for the cash flow, because we want the money to be coming in. And if it's coming in from efficient net cash flow, that means you built some type of funnel of passive, residual, or both passive and residual income. Passive in the sense of you invested in real estate, for example, like I want to and will, and you have tenants paying you every month, and it's passive income. Or residual, which like I'm doing currently by building a book of business in the insurance world with clientele. I go out and get a lump sum up front, and what stays on the books over time, I still get paid for it. That's the goal. Even with drug dealers and all those guys who make a shitload of money, it's the reason that if you get hurt in the NFL, NBA, if you get killed, go to jail on the if you get killed on the street or go to jail being a drug dealer, or obviously if you get killed, the money stops. And what was my other? The rappers. if something like Corona happens and you can't go get the show money, because you don't get paid for music anymore. You get paid for shows. You get paid for pop-ups. You get paid for club promotions. You get paid for being out and about, flashing and flexing. The rappers can't do that right now, so they're not really getting paid other than little stuff they do here on there on Instagram. And it's really making certain rappers think, and it's really making certain rappers, fell out. So, everybody has something where the economy is going to affect them. Point blank, period. Most of the time. Selling insurance, disclaimer alert, selling insurance has no pros and cons other than the fact that as long as our economy doesn't go to hell and back, people will need health and life insurance. Ding, 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 ding. What a career. Anyways, if you're interested in a opportunity, tag in LegacyWealthAdvantage.com. Fill out an application, and we will call you. Yeah, so, everybody gets hit in some type of way during a recession. Pros and cons is what side of the recession are you on? And, pretty much everybody just names, except for drug dealers, are on that side. But with drug dealers, you'll get caught one day. You'll probably die one day. The shit's going to come to an end where you're making all that money. Point blank, period. And because you're somebody like a drug dealer, you can't reinvest it into things that is real wealth. If you want to be the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, and etc., you got to take that money and invest it in something that's going to pay you for the rest of your life. A stock, a piece of property, a business ideal, businesses, something. You have to put it in something. The goal of this life is to make money and put it into something. You got to create cash flow. You got to create cash to create cash flow. You can be a car salesman. You can do whatever. There's so many things we can do in this world, this economy. I'm not just selling. Just in my channel, I don't just say, hey, insurance. No, you can do a lot of things. Car salesman. You got the online entrepreneurs. You got hair, YouTube entrepreneurs. I mean, so many things. What's your skill? Find your skill, define your skill, build your skill. 10,000 hours of mastery, of pure focus on improving that skill is what's going to take you to the next level. That skill makes you a flow of income. So if anything ever happens to where you got to go back to square one, but be 10 times better at it than where you were when you began. And you have no fear of going back to square one, because you will fuck up. Things will happen. The economy will challenge you. People will challenge you. Your customer clientele base will challenge you. The industry will challenge you. It's okay. Go back to square one and understand and define your skill. My skill is learning and knowing how to sell. So whether the insurance business won't go out of business, but if the insurance business goes out of business, I can go sell cars now. Now I'm in the car business. Flip a few things up, change my pitch, change my lingo, change my swag slight little bit, and bang, bang. And now I'm an awesome car salesman, selling 10, 15, 20 cars a month. The only thing I really lose is the residual, because it's not really much residuals in selling cars. It's some, but not much. So, you got to take cash, invest cash into something, because guess what? You're going to get sick. I forbid, something's gonna happen between you, your family, life, the economy, depression, you not spending your money the right way. Something's gonna happen to where you gotta slow down and reassess, or just stop, or lose your job, get fired, laid off, become a bum, something. You need a flow. You need a drip still coming in when those days happen. God knows. Seeing Michael Pozo. Michael, I don't know if you ever listened to this channel. I got a dear friend by the name of Michael Pozo, who is 40-something, 41, 2, 3, 4, one of them, young guy. No one, he's not the healthiest person in the world, but he's damn sure not the unhealthiest person in the world. No one could have ever suspected Michael Pozo catching throat cancer. He doesn't smoke or anything like that, so it's just the weirdest thing ever. Caught throat cancer, man. Caught throat cancer. Non-smoking guy caught throat cancer. Battling it to this day. He's doing great. He's looking good. He's in good shape. But, he's fuck, bro. He catch any cancer young, bro. It's scary. He can't work. He had to stop and just focus on living and surviving. Hospital bills racking up. I'm pretty sure he still has a flow of some money coming in, but between hospital bills and living, it's eating it up. So these moments, these defining moments, these clear as day moments that are going to happen, that do happen, whether it happens to you directly or somebody else indirectly, happen, is why I am dedicated to spending the next 10, 15 years of my life focused. So if something happens to me, if I get sick, if I lose my legs, horrible car accident, lose my voice, I have something set up in place. The scariest thing that can happen is you plan and do all this shit and it literally happens in the midst of it. Then you have to revert, rechannel, and don't give up on life, because it does happen to that 2, 3, 4, 5% of life, and just change the whole plan up. Like, let me use another relevant example. A company I work for, senior life insurance company, has the president and CEO and creator all in one, Ron Powell. Now, this happened towards the end of, I can't say the end of his career because he's still the active president, but he actually obviously doesn't sell anymore. He's running a freaking company. He lost his legs out doing a hobby. He loves racing cars, go-karts and stuff. Go-kart hit him, paralyzed for the rest of his life. Working every day for the last, I don't know, he's been paralyzed for a long time, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Every day, his goal is, I'm going to walk in before I die. He's had some movement in his legs. Will he walk in before he dies? I believe so. Will he? We'll see. Now, lucky for him, all this happened to him in the midst of him building, creating, starting a whole freaking insurance company, not agency, company. It could have easily happened in the middle of it. It could have easily happened in the beginning of his career. And all, I mean, if it would have happened in the beginning of his career, he wouldn't have liked it and had to adjust. But he would have just had to start selling over the phone. Versus what he built his insurance company and career out of, which is going out to see the people face to face, typically Monday through Saturday, for about 5, 6, 8 years of his life. So this shit, I mean, this stuff's real, people. You know, every day I think about stuff like that, and I got peace with it because it's not something that just bothers me. It's relevant. It's what keeps me going like shit any day, all day. I need to be ready. Stay on your P's and Q's, people, and understand and define how you're building this stuff. Get out, build you some cash flow. The first goal I always hear millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires say, get to a significant flow. Live within your means. You should be living easily within or easily under $3,000 a month. Get to $10,000 a month. Once you get $10,000 a month, you can start doing things. Why? Because you still should only be living off of $3,000 and less of living expenses. It depends on where you live and all that type. You gotta live a modest life. The most important fact I've ever seen is watch your living arrangements, because it's so easy for you to spend $4,000 or $5,000 a month and not even notice it. You can comfortably live no matter where you're at most of the time. 90% of the time, you can comfortably live for $3,000. Now, if you got a little bit of a bigger family, about $3,500. Other than that, I'm talking about living expenses, rent, water, air. It's kind of naming the same shit. Rent, water, electricity. What else you gotta have to live a comfortable internet nowadays? Every house needs internet. You gotta have the internet to do pretty much everything, Wi-Fi, etc. We all need a phone to live a pretty manageable life. You gotta eat. You gotta have cars in most places and cities. What comes with a car is a car note, car bill. You know, living stuff, living arrangements, not the Netflixes, the 10 TVs in every room, I'm trying to think. Subscriptions will kill you, man. That $5 here, $10 here, $5 here. I mean, you fucking around spend $100 out on subscriptions. That makes a difference. It's $1,200 a year. You could have been putting somewhere else to the side. You got to have gas for the car, not gas to smoke. For those who would have that bad habit, you got to get the cleaning supplies. Those are not stuff that I would count as your living mode expenses, but obviously they are because they're part of the grocery list. So just live below your means of $3,000 and less. Trust me, you can do it. I've done it all my life up until this point. I was living off about $1,800 up until about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago in my life. $1,800, which is half the reason, including me, we have to have spouses. We have to have relationships that you may or may, I'm not speaking for myself on that point, but relationships that you may or may not love and respect, but you got to stick it out because you have no other choice. Because when you can combine two mediocre incomes into one, and now you have about $4,000 coming in because I make $3,000 and you make $1,000, or blah blah blah. That's what keeps people going. And that's why another reason why this world is so fucked up and crazy, because people are staying around people that you don't want to be with, and etc., wasting time, energy, because we ain't got no choice. People have to live together 90% of the time to survive in this world. You need both incomes coming in just to have $3,000-$4,000 in the household. And if the household income is $3,000-$4,000, my God, you have to sit down and define the fact that you're still struggling. One income has to be $4,000 or $5,000. So your first goal, and remember, making $10,000 a month is a major goal. Don't get me wrong, major minor goal, but it's only $120,000 a year. Don't get too excited. It's just the first goal, because if you're still living below your means, you should have $7,000 left over of free cash to be putting towards things, putting in things such as stocks, ETF bonds, savings accounts, and just storing funds for whatever adventure that you have. But you got to get to 10. Not $10,000 a month, $10,000 cash, net, free income. So like me, I haven't quite got to that yet. I make well over $10,000 a month, but it's not net consistently. So I'm still on my target goal for that. And what's helping me with that is the fact of our expansion here at the agency. Corona has actually been one hell of a year for us. It's helped define a lot of things, shape a lot of things, and put us in some very great places. We'll be hiring a little bit of staff next year. We have some exciting things going on. And I would love for you to be a part of that. I'd love for you to just be a part of the industry. And if you're interested by any chance, make sure you stop what you're doing. Visit the site, fill out an application, and look out for a call from me. I really enjoy you appreciating the wisdom that I try to share with you guys. Find your peace. Stay happy. And protect yourself. It's a crazy world we live in. And you deserve to have your peace of mind. You really do. Go out and create cash flow. Make that the objective. And define what cash flow is. Residual and passive income. Don't just make a shitload of cash and ball out. And not invest in the things. And bury the funds. I mean, a lot of us are burying cash just like the drug dealers. Because we have nothing to do with it. And we act like there's nothing we can do with it. At the very least, if you don't know what to do with it, right now would be a horrible time to find a savings account that's got high yielding interest rates on it, because obviously just about every bank has pulled their interest rate to about zero or close to it. But before all this crap, I know for a fact Ally Bank was a great high yielding interest rate bank. I was up to about 2%, 2 points. It's dropped down about 0.8 now because of the whole COVID stuff and whatever's going on over there with the federal savings and etc. It's just typical stuff. Will it shoot back up? Probably highly doubt it. And what I'll do is probably take all my money out and put it into the next bank account. That is, a lot of people do that, and I'm one of them. I want my money, if it's sitting around while I'm waiting to store it, I want it to be collecting as much interest as possible. Those 2, 3, 4, 20, depending on how much you put in there. That 2% off of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of income, it's just free money. I mean, because they're taking the money and flipping it 20 200,000% based off that. So I mean, shit, I'm not stealing or getting anything from them, so I feel no type of way. Very least, struggling, man. You got apps you can invest into that will invest into ETF stocks and bonds for you. You got Better Investment, Acorns. If you want my links, again, email me. I would love to send you those links. Obviously, I have my link on there for the invitation code as well. But there's so many things you can put your money into that would be better than just not, where it just makes sense. So have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful life. Tune in again for another podcast. If you have any constructive criticism that you can lend to me, please leave a comment. No, I don't know where you're listening to this at. If they're going to allow you to leave a comment, but at the very least, send me an email, CoachQ@LegacyWealthAdvantage.com. You be easy. Be safe. Have peace. School is in session, people. Peace.